Okay, when we have variables on opposite sides, that means when you draw a line through the inequality symbol, there is a variable on either side of the line. We need to get them together. Sometimes we simplify first, but this one has both sides already simplified, so we need to get our variables together using inverse operations. So, you may subtract x, or you may subtract 5x. It doesn't matter. We usually subtract to keep the variable positive. So, subtract x from both sides. 5x minus 1x is 4x. And these x's went away. They made 0. 0 minus 6 is negative 6. Then we solve this like a two-step equation. Subtract 6 from both sides. 4x is greater than or equal to negative 12. Divide both sides by 4. X is greater than or equal to negative 3. We do not flip the sign because the number we divide by is 4. And 4 is a positive number. The number that you write down when you're multiplying or dividing, that number has to be negative to flip the sign. This 4 was positive, so we don't flip the sign. Questions? Yes?
So I was looking at the second one.
Mm-hmm.
So you said you wanted to keep x positive.
Usually.
Yeah, so if you subtract 2x, is it fine to just leave 0 on that side?
Mm-hmm. So you can subtract 2x, that would be 0 is greater than 7x minus 4 or plus 14, and you would have to subtract 14. Instead, because that's taking more steps than necessary, since the only thing that is on this left-hand side is a 2x, I'm going to subtract 9x, so I'm not left with 0 anywhere. 2x minus 9x is negative 7x. These cancel, so negative 7x is greater than 14. Spencer. Divide both sides by negative 7, and we get x is less than negative 2. The number I'm dividing by is negative, that negative 7. Since that number is negative, we flip the sign. If you did this problem the other way by subtracting 2x, you'll get the same answer. 0 is greater than 7x plus 14. Subtract 14 from both sides. Negative 14 is greater than 7x. Divide both sides by 7, and you get negative 2 is greater than x, which is the same thing as x is less than negative 2. The inequality sign eats the bigger number, so here it's eating the negative 2, here it's eating the negative 2. Negative 2 is greater than x is the same as x is less than negative 2. So it doesn't matter how you solve it, as long as you're solving it properly, you'll get the same answer. What you don't want to do is subtract 2x, and then since there's a 0 here, put the inequality sign between the 7 and the 14. A lot of people do that. All right, number 3. There are lots of variables here, so we want to combine them all together. On this left-hand side, we have a negative 3x and a positive 7x. Combining our like terms, negative 3x plus 7x is 4x. We still have a minus 6 here, that wasn't combined with anything, is less than, and on this side, we have a negative 5 and a negative 4. So x, negative 5 plus negative 4 is negative 9, x minus 9. So I treated each side as its own expression, and I simplified first. I did not do negative 3x plus 7x plus x. You cannot combine like terms on opposite sides of that line. To go to opposite sides, you've got to use inverse operations. Get our variables together. Subtract x from both sides. 4x minus x is 3x. So 3x minus 6 is less than negative 9. Add 6 to both sides. 3x is less than negative 3. Divide both sides by 3. X is less than negative 1. Questions? Okay, this next one we have lots of denominators, an 8, a 4, and a 2. We look for our least common multiple. Start with the biggest denominator, it is 8. 8 is a multiple of 4. 8 is also a multiple of 2. If it wasn't a multiple of one of those, we would try 16 next, the next multiple of 8. But 8 is a multiple of all of the numbers, so we will multiply both sides by 8. 8 is a positive number. We are multiplying both sides by a positive number, so don't flip the sign. 8 times 5/8 is 5. 8 times x is 8x. Don't flip the sign. 8 times 3/4 is 6. 8 times 1/2 is 4x. So we picked 8 to multiply every single term, including this x that is often forgotten. Then we get rid of all of the fractions. You multiply the same number on both sides, so the equation is still balanced. Since there are no more fractions, it will be easy to get our variables together. Subtract 4x from both sides. 8x minus 4x is 4x. 4x minus 4x is 0, so all we have left there is a 6. Subtract 5 from both sides. 4x is greater than or equal to 1. Divide both sides by 4. X is greater than or equal to 1/4. Alright, flip it over on the back. Last one. This has variables on both sides. It also has a fraction on this left-hand side. You cannot get these variables together until you get rid of this fraction. Because this is not an x, this is technically x divided by 3, minus 2 divided by 3. So we'll get rid of that fraction first by multiplying the entire side of both sides by 3. This is 3 times 1 over 3, which are inverses and they cancel. This is 3 times negative x, which is negative 3x, plus 3 times 4, which is 12. So first, multiply to get rid of the denominator, then do what we've been doing. Get your variables together. X plus 3x is 4x. So 4x minus 2 is less than 12. Add 2 to both sides. 4x is less than 14. Divide both sides by 4. X is less than, here is your fraction, 14 over 4. Simplify. x is less than 7 over 2. Questions? Yeah.
So, if you did if you subtracted x, just x by itself from both sides, would you still get the same answer?
So, yeah, in this step, if you subtracted x, subtract x, you would have negative 2 is less than, negative 4x plus 12. Subtract 12 from both sides. Negative 14 is less than negative 4x. And then when you divide both sides by negative 4, you flip the sign. Negative 14 divided by negative 4 simplifies to 7 over 2. So same answer, the inequality sign is still eating the bigger number. But this one just has a number first and then x. But it's the same answer. Both of these would be accepted on the test. When you're writing an answer to an inequality, you have to have the inequality symbol. If you do not, it is wrong, because your answer is not 7 halves. Your answer is every number that's less than 7 halves. I don't know if anyone in this class did it, but there are some people in the other classes that were just writing the number as the answer. It's only okay in equations, and even in equations, it's not really that okay. So make sure that you write the inequality sign. There are other questions?